morning. I wanted to make sure I got up on time, and I did. Although Hannah was up before me, so I will say that. Okay, she was up. Look at all these phones. We did already get a couple comments. I don't know how we can look at those.
Oh, let's see. Let's see if I can. There we go. I'm going to scroll down on our Facebook one because that's where.
Who is it? Rick Beard?
Right now we can see
Hey!
Eric Beard is on.
Daniel.
And Daniel Tenard.
Good morning.
And right now, if anyone on our Instagram or YouTube would, or Instagram or our event center Facebook would like to make comments, we can right now read them on the Camp Bethel without the event center written into the name Facebook page. Otherwise, we may not be able to read it. Sorry.
We're almost there. We're almost there. Grace and we matched.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I like a little Camp Bethel staff shirt sandwich.
Yeah. There's never a day that at least 3 people on our staff don't wear the same shirt. So.
That's true.
That's so fun. I guess we could just stay there and just turn in.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that would be fine. Alright, if we go to YouTube. Sorry.
Just there.
And then, huh. Oh, wait, this one doesn't have an option to create either. Do you have the YouTube app? Okay.
Should we just roll?
I guess we'll just
Let's
roll.
just roll. I think we should
Yeah, we
just
don't
roll.
have a lot of people on it
Yeah.
on YouTube, so hopefully we're not missing anybody there.
Oh, we got a nice prayer in the morning. Thank you, Angela. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bethel Benefit Day. We are clearly up bright and early and fumbling around. We've done lots of preparing, but you can't prepare for a live. So this was good raw footage, bright and early in the morning. I'm Hannah. I'm the director here. I'm Kathleen Nutton. I'm the program coordinator.
And I'm Grayson Priest. I am digital media coordinator here at Camp Bethel.
And we just want to spend a few minutes kind of telling you a little bit about our summer, a little bit about the day, and kind of what to expect for the next, 18, I think, hours. Kathleen, can you just start off by telling us maybe what the summer has been like?
Yeah, the summer has actually been really exciting because this is one of the few summers since kind of COVID happened that we've been really close to being full staffed. So in the years past, we've definitely had kind of a deficit in staff. Still better off than a lot of camps, which we've been very blessed for. But this was, my goal was to kind of have 50 summer staff members, and this was, we got really, really close. We had 47 kind of at the very end. So with that said, we were able to serve over 700 campers, and right now we have our adventure week happening, which is so different than the rest of our camper weeks because, most of the camper weeks we have residential options where people are staying on main camp with a couple of adventure camps sprinkled in. But this week we really have all of our adventures kind of out in our AV village, which is a more rustic place to stay. They're all, middle school and high school, so it's definitely a different vibe on camp. So it's really fun to have them all here. We have, not all the staff stick around. It's like maybe about 25 or so at the end of it. So it's nice, big kind of breath after the big push of the summer, and but it's been fun.
Yeah, I would agree.
Um,
So Grayson, what's Bethel Benefit Day?
Well, so Bethel Benefit Day, I'm sure you all have been seeing a lot of the posts about it, but Bethel Benefit Day is our day-long fundraiser event that we're starting up this year. This is our first ever, what we're planning on doing annually, our first ever annual Bethel Benefit Day. And so basically, we're going to have videos going out every single hour. We already have a planned schedule that's been sent out. It was sent out with that video that came out yesterday of what each of those posts are going to include. And we're just asking everybody who wants to support Camp Bethel to donate just $5 or more. You're absolutely welcome to donate more. But just to support Camp Bethel's runnings, our upgrades and upkeep as we go throughout the year. Because now that we are getting back up close to full staffing, there's a lot more use that these buildings are getting. So that's a great thing, and it also has some expenses. So this is our live stream to start out the day, but we will also have another live stream at the end of the day, our midnight live stream, and I believe at 10 o'clock we're going to be debriefing around a fire, debriefing our Bethel Benefit Day a little bit earlier on. So that will also most likely be live. So we should have 3 live streams today. And yeah, that's what our Bethel Benefit Day is looking like.
How much footage do you think you took over the course of just to get like everything, not what's posted, but just all the other stuff? Because I just want to highlight Grayson's work, because he's really put in hours and hours of capturing content. So I'm just curious.
Well, I want to say on a good week, I easily get 4,000 or around 4,000 photos.
Wow.
And then 30 to 40 videos. Some of that is stuff that I shoot, or some of it is stuff that our units shoot with a GoPro that I've been handing out this summer, so that they can take that on their trips and adventures. And so then editing all of that stuff down is quite the fun job. And that's for our summer programming footage. Then if you add the Bethel Benefit stuff, that could easily be 20 to 30 clips per video that we're doing, or more on some of them. So. Yeah.
And I was going to say he highlighted this too, but not only has Grayson done Bethel Benefit stuff all summer long, he's also captured all of our summer programming. He's gotten videos and photos on our website every week, and has stayed much more on top of posting things in a timely manner than I would ever be able to do. So he's done lots and lots, and we appreciate him for his work for sure.
Grayson, do you have a picture of the summer, and it's okay if you don't have an answer for this, but do you have a picture for the summer that really sticks out to you as a favorite? You're like, oh, this was such a good picture, and could you describe it to us if you can think of one?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I do end up when I post all the pictures on our page, I really enjoy deciding which picture from each week is going to go at the top of that week. And so one of my favorites is our Bring Your Big Camp picture, which is at the top of that page, I believe, and is a picture of some girls underneath our big parachute. And so one of them, they've got their hair sticking way up in the air because it's all staticky under there. And it's just this really happy picture of playing some parachute games. And it's nice and well lit too, because the parachute's way off the ground. The sun's reflecting off the grass and coming through the parachute itself.
That's really cool.
I love it.
As we've kind of gathered footage and pictures and content from Bethel Benefit Day, was there anything that you just that kind of came to mind while all that just through that process?
Well, I was realizing the summer's a little bit shorter than you think it is.
Yeah, for
7
sure.
weeks sounds like a long time, but usually it's one video a week per, and that's of the camp that's been going on that week.
Right.
But this summer with 18, 19, maybe 20 videos, I guess, including the one that we made yesterday or posted yesterday. That's closer to 3 or 4 videos a week.
Yeah.
Which is a bit more.
Right.
So that was certainly a little bit of a heavier workload than I was expecting on that end, but it was a very fun time. It's nice being able to switch projects pretty constantly.
Yeah.
I think it's been interesting because, like, one of the things I've thought about is when you're in the summer, like, everything, your entire life is just kind of consumed by summer camp, right? It doesn't feel like there's really a world outside of it. But through all this, like, gathering of other people that are kind of away from summer camp at this time, you realize, like, Camp Bethel is so much bigger than just, like, the camper population or the summer staff that we serve. And that's been really, really cool for me to kind of have a different perspective on in the midst of summer, you know what I mean?
So we met kind of once a week with kind of a core team of people that helped us plan and execute this event, but we really did have to kind of change our thinking from just summer camp to our Sounds of the Mountain friends and our Heritage Day friends and the people who maybe grew up here, were on staff here before, but we don't talk to as much on a day-to-day now. So we really did have to kind of get creative and make sure that our perspective was switching to kind of branch out from the summer. I also spent some time yesterday with just looking at some numbers because we had gotten a couple of people asking, like, if you guys raise this money, like, what are some things that this might go towards? And truly a lot of it will just be kind of in our general expenses. But I took some time to look at numbers, and as maybe said this a few minutes ago, I'm not the best person to do math. So that was fun for me. But I did some math on just the individual meals that we serve in the summer. That doesn't count any of our events or any of our outside of the summer guest groups. But just for our staff and our campers, we serve over 18,000 individual meals in those 9 weeks plus some training of summer camp. And that number is just so huge to me. So things like that are things that, very quickly, if you're used to grocery shopping for your own home, you know that a meal isn't always cheap. So 18,000 meals definitely aren't cheap. So that's one of those expenses that we might not think about on a day-to-day, but it adds up. We also have a lot of buildings to turn the lights on in. We have lots of air conditioners to run. We have water testing expenses just to make sure that our water is safe to drink since we run off of well water. And like Kathleen mentioned, we were lucky enough to be able to hire more staff this summer. So that's a blessing, and that's a higher expense as well that we're excited to take on, but an expense nonetheless. So in addition to our 5 full-time staff and our several year-round staff, we add about 60 people in the summer. Those 47 staff plus kitchen staff and a couple extra maintenance people just for the summer to kind of get us through. So lots of people that we're kind of slowly saying goodbye to as August approaches. They're kind of trickling out, but those people have all been on site this summer and have been, I think, well utilized, and that's been a really good thing to kind of return back to. So those are a few of the numbers, but that's kind of some of the just day-to-day expenses. But then of course we also have, things that are aging and things that need a little bit more tender love and care. And then we also have, new ideas. We always want to do new outreach, new programming, new events and things, have new things programming-wise on site that people can take advantage of. So those kind of wish list items are things that when all the bills are paid and nothing's falling apart, we get to kind of take a stab at some new things too. So those are some things to just keep in mind that this fundraiser could help assist with. Kathleen, I know we were talking yesterday too about, those are all kind of the tangible pieces of camp. But really, our mission is relationship. And
Right.
so this building or system of buildings on site and all of the tangible things that we do every day really help us to carry out the relationship with God, with each other, and with creation. And you were talking just a little bit about kind of how you see that play out in our summer and how kind of our faith and our relationship is really ingrained in everything that we do. So maybe just tell everybody a little bit more about your view on that.
Yeah, I think this summer has been like kind of a big reflection of just like the spiritual life here at Camp Bethel. And so we've kind of been critically looking at pieces of those and looking to kind of continue to develop spiritual life for our staff and for our campers. And some of the feedback we get is a lot about like Bible study and worship, and those are critical parts of our programming and kind of the Christian education of our programming. And what I think is so beautiful about Camp Bethel is that to me, those things are like sprinkles on top, whereas our programming and the philosophy of our camping is really the most Christian thing about this place. Everything that we do, from the games that we play, of being games that are non-inclusive, or not exclusive, so inclusive, right? Not competitive games, where everybody's involved always, to the round tables that we sit at the dining hall, to the way that we train our staff to be trauma-informed, and, you know, display that Christ-like hospitality. So much of what we do, to like also just, you know, even being good stewards, like, you know, having Home in the Woods, which kind of helps to foster being good stewardships or good stewards of creation, right? To me, all of those things are really the most Christian thing about us, is that programming that is so intentional, that continues to point back to relationships. We are super intentional about getting to know kids' names and campers and our staff's names, knowing what they like, right? So that we can encourage them throughout the summer. You know, all of those things go into what I believe is really kind of the fundamentals of our Christian values, I guess. And then, you know, the worships and the Bible studies kind of drive that home and give a I guess some words to what we're doing. But really what we're doing is so enriching to that Christian piece of our camping. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And really, we're planting the seeds, and we're showing people how that relationship can be created, and then we're encouraging them to take that outward, back to their homes, back to their churches, to continue those relationships in kind of a more sustainable, long-term way, but also to be able to share all the things that they've learned and kind of the way that we function here at camp with the people around them, kind of outside of camp in the real world, which can be kind of jarring to go from one to the other. But we try to equip people to take those small pieces, kind of what we do into the world to carry that outward.
Do you have any, like, I'm thinking of any other examples that stick out to you guys about like things about our programming, or even the way that we train our staff, that are the reason why is based in that Christian faith?
One of the things that comes to mind for me, you mentioned the games, and how, you know, we don't play many competitive games. We do include everybody kind of in just games for fun and games for team building, but we also do low ropes and team building initiatives, which is kind of, I guess, games, but intensified maybe. And they have lessons with them. They talk about communication. They talk about teamwork. They talk about how we can work together to either reach a common goal or solve a problem. And those are things that you can relate back to in the real world, right? Or you can relate back to when you get frustrated at somebody, or when you're faced with something big or small that you can't quite figure out, you know, off the top of your head. And those, again, are kind of those relational pieces that teach you how to lovingly be in community with somebody, or lovingly work out a problem. It doesn't have to be a fight or, you know, a big deal. It can be something that we handle with love and handle with supporting each other kind of through a problem. So I would say kind of taking those games and taking that a step further to those low ropes and initiatives is one of the ways that we really kind of embody that on camp and then equip people to go outward.
I would also like to say, on top of games, we also have a lot of other activities, but we like to keep them as things that are done together.
Right.
So like hikes. Hikes you think of as, oh, well, here we are, uncomfortable, walking up a hill. But one of the big things is that if you're going on a hike with your unit, you're all together as a unit. So you have your 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 counselors, and the camper group of generally 10 to 12. And you're all together as one group, and you stop for water breaks together. You'll play games together on the hike. You'll sing songs together on the hike. Songs are another great way that we just do things all together, because who's not included when you're all singing together? And so that's just another beautiful thing that I love, that we get to be right here next to I believe it's the Jefferson National Forest. And so we can hike all the way through Camp Bethel and up into the mountains, basically as far as we want. So that's just been, it's wonderful having all that space.
Yeah. I would say also we train our staff to make sure that kind of everything can tie back into either faith or relationship. And so they learn the curriculum really well during training and kind of know, the themes of the day and the verses like the back of their hand. This year, Linked in Love was our curriculum, and you'll learn a little bit more about that throughout the day. But just throughout the day, no matter what a group is doing, our counselors and our staff are trained to kind of tie whatever they're doing back into that curriculum or back into relationships. So the hikes that we mentioned, or any of the other like creek play or anything that's outside, we kind of can really tie that back into relationship with creation and how to care for creation and how to appreciate the huge gift that we've been given of creation, making sure that we're maintaining that, leaving it better than we found it. And then with those, other pieces of relationship with each other or with God, of course our Bible studies and our worship, like Kathleen said, kind of are the cherry on top. But any type of game, any type of high ropes, low ropes, any sort of activity that people are doing together can be tied into either relationship with God or relationship with each other, just depending on the situation. And so our counselors are really good about kind of having those faith tie-ins and making sense to our kids of how it doesn't have to be compartmentalized. We don't have to only go to Bible study and then never think about the curriculum or kind of how that relates to our day-to-day any other time, but it's really kind of interwoven into everything that we do, which is I think a really cool part of our programming as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like even down to like everybody shares chores here, because again, it's that sense of community and kind of all humbling ourselves to sweep the art floor and all those things. And so I think one of the cool things, and something that I learned even when I was on staff, is like sometimes, it feels like a really lofty thing to be called to be a disciple, right? And you're like, oh, I gotta be a disciple, I gotta be like Jesus, and all the things, the character attributes of Jesus, but it can be really hard to be like Jesus in situations, right? And so I think that Camp Bethel beautifully teaches people how to be disciples, not just that they need to be disciples, right? Or calling to share the love, but really teaches and kind of fosters that, like, this is how we do it, right? And this is a place where they can experience that love and know that it exists, right? And that's our hope. That's 100% our hope. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool place that we work at. Yeah, pretty cool job we get to do.
It's the best job in the world. So you guys are going to see lots of content that Grayson has so beautifully compiled over the summer throughout the day. He kind of mentioned that there will be hourly posts. There will also be kind of, as we hit some milestone markers of donations received, we'll throw out some posts about that, just to kind of let you guys, core team, as well as Jenna Mahalso and Susan Starkey. So they have done lots of work to communicate with people and make phone calls and kind of help us to get all the pieces together. And then throughout the day, you'll see that there are lots of videos from lots of our friends and supporters from different areas. So thank you to all of the people who sent in videos, who helped us brainstorm, who gave us information and dates and all the pieces that maybe we either didn't know how to track down without the help of a friend, or didn't even know existed in the first place. So it's been really fun, I think, to kind of see already, even before today, what's happened with communication on comments of Facebook posts and all of our friends who have posted to kind of get the word out about Bethel Benefit Day. I've heard lots of really cool stories about like memories at Camp Bethel and people who met at Camp Bethel, and just kind of seeing that history come to life has been really fun. And I hope that today will continue just the storytelling and the networking and the relationships on social media as well. So thank you if you have already donated. Thank you if you have sent in any sort of content or given us information as we prepared. And we will make sure that we also do lots and lots of thank yous tomorrow. Thank you also if you have put a match donation on the table. We will be sharing more information about match donations throughout the day as well, but there will be lots of opportunity for your donation to be doubled. If you donate $5, that could become $10 because of our awesome and willing donors that have pledged those match donations. So lots and lots of thank yous all around. We're going to have lots of fun here in the office today. We're going to have some people in and out helping us. We're going to be monitoring all the things, and as soon as we sign off, we'll also glance at your comments and see if there are any questions or anything that we need to answer on this feed as well. But we'll make sure that we are present for any comments or questions you guys have throughout the day on any of our posts, and we're going to encourage you guys throughout the day with some questions and some ways to be involved as well. So be active, be involved, have fun with us, and we will kind of see what happens. We're excited.
Today's the day.
Today's the day.
Today is the big day.
The Bethel Benefit
It's today.
Day.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Alrighty, I guess that,
How do we end it?
that wraps it up. I guess we'll just start pressing buttons and turning things off. Well, see you all at 7 o'clock for getting ready with Kate and Ben. I believe that's our next video up, so
Stay
I hope
tuned.
I hope you're there.
We already got ready at
We're ready.
Alrighty, let's see. Whoop. Let's end that one.
Goodbye.
Oh,
It's not goodbye. See you later. See you later.
let's hope this one's still running. I can't tell. Uh-oh.
Is it like the time?
I assumed that it had